I'm Jamie Kale Miller of Pandora Astrology, and with me is...
Hey guys, I'm Julia Mikas of Pandora.
And today we want to talk to you about the full moon in Pisces that's happening on September 1st. And it being a full moon, of course, it's going to have the moon and the sun opposite to each other. This particular full moon has a lot of harmony in it. It contains a grand trine here in earth signs, with the sun in Virgo trine Pallas Athene in Capricorn and Uranus in Taurus. So this moon is happening in mutable signs. We know that because the moon itself is in Pisces, a mutable sign. And so mutable signs will feel it. And if you do have anything in your chart, as early as 5 degrees of a mutable sign or as late as 15 degrees of a mutable sign, you're going to feel this moon. So the name that we've put to this moon is Dreaming plus Strategic Action. And that's because the full moon itself being in Pisces, which has a lot to do with dreaming and imagination, a lot of those themes are going to be up very much. But also, this grand trine in Earth does suggest concretizing those dreams in some form, taking action on them, doing something about them, grounding them in reality. And the presence of the very strategic and intellectual Pallas Athena here in a trine with a very cerebral Uranus would suggest that that action can be strategic. Julia, what are your thoughts about this moon?
Right. Well, full moon in Pisces, full moons are always very emotional. Pisces is also a very emotional sign. However, I feel like that sextile from Pallas and from Uranus adds a lot more independence and self-sufficiency
Yes.
To this moon. And I mean, it's Pisces is a sign which I feel like can go one of a few ways. It can be sort of artistic, creative. It could be spiritual, or it could be charitable and altruistic. So those might be themes that dominate our relationships during this cycle.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned relationships because I know you love to talk about how the full moon is relational in its nature. Can you explain that for maybe some viewers who don't, aren't quite oriented to that aspect of full moons?
For sure. Well, a full moon happens when the two luminaries, so the big, most important sort of planets in the sky, which are the moon and the sun, are in a perfect opposition from one another. And in astrology, an opposition is an 180-degree aspect, and they tend to play out in our relationships. You know, the sun being the archetypal father, the archetypal male figure, and the moon being the archetypal mother, the archetypal female character.
Right.
And that opposition, especially between these two planets and the very nature of the aspect, is what enforces the idea of it being a relational astrological phenomenon.
Yeah, so full moons have a tendency to play out in our relationships, and they can also be times of high emotion because the moon is shining as much light as it ever does in its cycle. And there is that strong, like, push-pull and polarity between the sun and the moon. Julia, do you have thoughts on this being a sort of like a big Earth influence, this grand trine, balanced off against the watery Pisces moon?
Yeah, I think that's actually a good point. It's not only the Earth also kind of adds a degree of stability and a degree of self-sufficiency to it as well, as along with the planets in there. Because I mean, Pisces can be kind of an emo sign. It's water, so it can sometimes
Totally.
be a little bit clingy, and this kind of gives it a little bit more structure.
Yep. Yep, I think it absolutely does. And there's a lot of harmony in this moon, which is really nice. I think we could all use some harmony right about now. Well, thank you for watching this video. And if you like this video and you want to find more like it, you can find this one in our September 2020 news playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. You can also find the news of the month on our monthly forecast page at pandoraastrology.com/monthly-forecast. And you can actually have readings with us. We are available on Zoom. And you can do that on our services page, pandoraastrology.com/services. And until next month, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye bye.